Hi, I'm Mike, and today we're in the very last field of our winter grazing program. We're going to take a look and see if this whole crazy idea was worth it and how many days we still have left of winter grazing. It's coming up today on Our Wyoming Life. Hey, kiddo. Hi guys, welcome back and thanks for joining us once again as we continue to explore the ranch life and escape the ordinary. We have a lot going on today, so I'm going to kind of get right into it, but I've already finished with my morning chores. I've got all those done. I fed the chickens. We have tons of meat chickens that are ready to be processed. We'll be working on those over the next few weeks and hopefully be able to make a video about it, but tons of meat chickens that needed to be fed. We had, of course, our laying hens which still need to be taken care of. We've got steers and heifers, our calves that need to be fed every single day as we're weaning those guys. We have empties that are going to be going on for processing at some point or for sale at the market, so we're taking care of them. And of course we have our cows to take care of, our breeding stock as well. So lots to be done around the ranch in the morning, and right now I get a little bit of a break. It's just past noon here, and I have a little snack here. This is some of the Our Wyoming Life beef jerky. I wanted to bring this along with me because not only did I want to eat some because it is really good. This is the teriyaki flavor that I really like, but also, I want to let you know about a brand new sale going on the Our Wyoming Life website. You can head to that website, ourwyominglife.com. Beef jerky now is 15% off. Jerky 15 is the code that you're going to use at checkout, the coupon code. So you just put that in, and the jerky will be 15% off for you. So all you have to do is do that. Of course, jerky makes a great Christmas present as well. So here's what we got going on. I'll get to that on the drive. So we have our winter grazing program is in place. We've been working on it for the last few months. We've had to feed the cows occasionally, very minimally, mostly just to move them where we want them to graze. Because of the drought, we didn't get to harvest any hay this year. That left about 500 acres of hayfield that did not get harvested. So even though it did grow some, it just wasn't worthwhile for us to go out and cut it, waste the fuel, the wear and tear on the tractors, all that kind of stuff. It actually turned out to be better to buy hay than it was to actually make it, oddly enough. So what the plan became was to utilize those hay fields as much as possible throughout the fall and winter in order to extend our winter, or actually to shorten our winter feeding schedule. Usually we feed about 180 days of the year with winter feeding. This year we're going to try to knock that down to about 120 is kind of what I'm going for. That'll save the ranch money in having to buy hay. So up until this point, I have been feeding the cows minimally. I've been moving them from field to field, using a bale here, a bale here, a bale there, usually about every third day or something like that. I can go and feed them and keep them moving between fields. We've fed 2 70-acre hay fields that the cows have grazed off, another 50-acre hay field. Also, the hay fields that are clear back in the summer pasture, they already ate those off as well. So we are down to our very last hayfield that we want to utilize as winter pasture. That hayfield is about 160 acres. It's huge. When you hay it, it seems like it takes forever. When these guys graze it, probably not going to take as long. But what we're going to do today is we're actually going to head up into that hayfield that we're now turning into winter pasture. We're going to use a couple methods that we've used in the past. One where we take a hula hoop and we cut the hay within this hula hoop, and we're able to figure out exactly how much grass is up there and how long the cows are going to be able to stay there. We are going to have to utilize food in the hay that we have already to keep them up there because there is no water in that hayfield. So there's no ponds, there's no reservoir, there's no well. So what we're going to have to do is probably feed them back up there almost every single day. That'll utilize one bale, so then we can figure out that they'll finish up with the rest of it. So we have 1,200-pound bales. We'll get into the math. It's going to be a pain. But we're going to head up that way now. I'm going to jump in the gator. We're going to load up all this stuff that we may need, and we're going to head up there. We're going to do some measuring first. We're going to figure out how much we've got, and then we're going to move some cows. We've got our cutter. We've got a bucket. I've actually got a scale inside the gator here that plugs into the USB port here in the gator that I installed that gives us power. So that will be handy. And I guess we'll take this too, just for kicks and grins. All right, I'm gonna go for a little drive, head on up to that hay field, open up some gates, and then see what we're looking at. I'll bring my jerky though. So this is our teriyaki beef jerky. It's actually sourced from cows, steers, whatever, raised right here on the ranch. It's probably my favorite flavor. There was a little bit of a scare this spring because we thought we weren't going to be able to get teriyaki beef jerky anymore. Turns out we can. So teriyaki beef jerky, good stuff. So here we are at our 160 acre hay field, which is going to become winter pasture. As hay fields go, it's pretty dang big. And like I said, it sometimes takes forever to hay. Actually, every time it feels like it takes forever to hay. But it should provide, I really don't know. We're gonna figure out how many days we can keep the cows up in this one before we actually have to go to a continual feeding program. This, like I said, this is the very last hay field that we have to graze off. So it's our very last winter pasture before we have to go into a regular winter feeding program. Let's drive up in the field. We'll find a few good spots and take a few good samples and do a little math and figure out how long the cows will live in this pasture. Of course, they won't be living in here exclusively. They will be able to come in and out. We'll have the gate open for them. They'll be able to wander down to water, which is closest water, maybe like a quarter mile down that way. It's going to be frozen off and on, but we'll be able to figure that out as we go. So this field, as you may remember, is actually the field that we ended up getting fenced off with the help of Beckart right around Ranch Roundup. They put up some brand new fence for us, and that enables us to turn this hay field into winter pasture. So we're getting up here on their fence right here, and you'll be able to take a look. It's still standing, obviously, still looks great, and we'll definitely hold the cows in here. This over here, by the way, is our neighbor Butch's place. Butch is a good guy, and very happy to have a fence in between our hayfield and his house there. So we're going to drive up the hill a little ways and find a couple spots where we can get our samples, and we'll be able to figure out exactly how long the cows will be able to stay in here. This, you know, it's kind of a weird thing. It's very random where you do this, so we don't always want to pick spots that are massive, you know, that have a whole ton of grass and stuff in them. So we want to make sure that we pick a couple places at random. There's really no place in this field. Like I said, we were in a drought, so it's not a really lush field or anything like that. So we'll give her a try. We'll see what we can get. I guess first things first, we can get ourselves set up. I did bring this stool. The stool will work as a good place for the scale to sit, because we're actually going to do all this by weight. Okay, so there's our scale. We got our cutters, which are going to be simulating the cow's mouth and teeth, a bucket to hold the grass in, and the hula hoop to tell us where we can measure. So first things first, we want to know how much the bucket weighs. But the bucket weighs 1 pound, 11 ounces or so, right in there. We're going to zero that out. So now we take that off, it goes back down to a negative number, so that when we cut and weigh our grass, we'll be able to figure that out. All right, we're going to find somewhere to get ourselves a nice little sample. I'm just going to throw that out there. And what that does is marks where we're going to cut. So this is where that math is going to come in. So this hula hoop is actually 25 inches across. So I've got my little cheat sheet here in my hand. It's 500 square inches within this hula hoop. So as we cut, each hula hoop full is 500 square inches of dry plant material. This is no longer wet. We don't really have to worry about that. It's very dry. It's gonna be exactly what it is. It can't get any wetter, can't get any drier. Well, it could get drier, I guess, but we don't want it to. And we're gonna cut all that down and put it right in the bucket. Now we really don't have to go very far. Production in this field is pretty standard across. I don't think there's any places that are overly lush or anything like that. So what I'd like to do, I'm gonna smash that down in there. That's all the grass that we got out of that one little spot. I might have missed a couple little strands here and there, but you know, it is what it is. There's not a whole lot up here, but it'll be amazing because as you go through and cut these, I did a little bit more math. I've got another cheat sheet here in my pocket. So these hula hoops in this field, there are 2 million of these hula hoops worth of grass. So if one hula hoop is 500 square inches, 1 acre is 6,273,000 square inches, and there's 12,000 of these hula hoops per acre out here. Well, over 12,000, almost 13,000 of these hula hoops per acre out here. So we're gonna just kind of toss this thing out here again. We're just gonna keep on measuring. I'm gonna try to get as much as I can in this bucket, and then we'll do some more math and figure out where we stand.
Likely the light of mine will burn out in the mountains where I spend my rambling years. I paid my sins from the poor traveling days. Oh Lord, please, can't you hear my prayers? So I rode my body up the mountain to a place where I can sit my rocking chair. I rode my body up the mountain, and I'm never going back again, I swear. Most likely the son of mine will be found in the mountains where I'm born and raised. I paid my duty as the sunny side cutie. Oh Lord, hear the sorrow in my heart. So I rode my body up the mountain to a place where I can sit my rocking chair. I rode my body up the mountain, and I'm never going back again, I swear. So I rode my body up the mountain to a place where I can sit in my rocking chair. I rode my buddy up the mountain, and I'm never going back again, I swear. Rode my buddy up the mountain. I rode my buddy up the mountain.
Okay, so we got 10 sample spots, and now we just have to weigh it. Alrighty, so from 10 sample spots, we got 8 ounces, half a pound. That's good. Math works out good that way. So then we need 20 places for a full pound, okay? So I'm gonna grab my phone here. Now we know that that thing is 500 square feet. So, calculator action. So 500 square inches, not square feet, square inches times 10. And then we need it times 2. So it'd be 10,000 square inches for a pound. Okay, now grab my little cheat sheet here. So we know that there's 6,273,000 square inches in an acre. So 10,000 square inches to a pound. So 273,000 divided by 10,000 equals 627 pounds per acre. Now, we know that the cows aren't going to be able to eat all that. They're going to trample part of it. They're going to destroy a portion of it. So usually what I like to do is just divide that in half. 627 pounds per acre divided by 2, 313 pounds per acre. And now we get into the fun part. So we have 300 pounds per acre to play with. And I don't know if I've ever mentioned this before, but I hate math. I've never liked math. Any of my math teachers when I was in high school would tell you that I was not good at math and that I did not like it and I didn't want to do it. But anyway, that's besides the point. That's just ridiculous. 300 pounds per acre. So 300 pounds per acre times 160 acres. There's 48,000 pounds up here in this field for these guys to eat. Now that's if they do pretty good in eating it, but I think that's probably a good number to take a look at. 48,000 pounds. Each cow is going to require 25 pounds per day, let's say at this time, at this point in their life, and there is roughly 100 cows out here. So 100 times 25 obviously is 2,500 pounds per day. So what did I say? How many total pounds do we have up here? 300 times 160, and then divide that by 2,500. So there we go. 19.2 days. Now, okay. So I am going to be supplementing that, of course, with the hay to get them up in here every single day, because they're not going to want to stay in here. They're not going to want to stay in this pasture. They're going to want to go closer to water. So we're going to have to bring them in here. We're going to have to move them around this pasture with hay. So of that 19 days, so we're going to be giving them probably half of it. So we could say 19 times 2. So we extended for 38 more days, which should put us into January, which should make this whole thing work out for the better. Then we're basically feeding our full ration starting in January, and that'll go through April or so. Anyway, so is the winter feeding program a success? So far, it is. So far, it's actually been working just fine. We'll see if that trend continues. Let's pack up our crap. We're going to go grab the tractor. We're going to grab the Hustler feeder, and we're going to bring it up here. I don't know if we're going to be able to get any cows moved today. I kind of doubt it, actually. You know what? Tell you the truth. Let's hold off until tomorrow morning. We'll come back out when we feed these cows, because they'll be waiting for food. They're kind of spread out right now, but they'll be waiting for food. We'll come back. We'll feed them in the morning, and then we'll feed them up here into this pasture and get them going up here. So 38 days, not too bad, especially for only half ration feeding. So really we only extend feeding for 19 days, but that's okay. We're gonna make this whole thing work out, trust me. Let's pack up and head for home. What are we gonna do with this? Let's go find Bambi. She might want a treat. Of course, I have no idea where she's at, but we'll go find her. Hey there, Bambi. Bambi, have you ever been to one of those restaurants before they open? Sometimes they do like a little sneak peek and you get a chance to try what they've got going on. Well, that's kind of what I've got for you, because tomorrow you get to go to a brand new pasture and you get a whole bunch of new grass. But look what I brought you. I brought you some of it here. You want some of it? There you go. Look at you go. Nine out of 10 cows can't be wrong. All right, meet me out here tomorrow morning. We'll come back around and we'll head up there and we'll get these guys moved into that brand new pasture where they will be for 38 days, hopefully. And that'll take us past Christmas, past New Year's, and then we'll probably have snow on the ground and everything else. Pack your bags. You're moving tomorrow. Good morning and welcome back. It's now tomorrow. It's actually today, but we'll call it tomorrow. And we are heading out with a bale of hay to be able to feed these cows up into that very last hay field, which is now winter pasture. Hoping for another 38 days of feeding, which will put us well into January, and then we're just left with about 120 days of regular feeding here on the ranch, which hopefully will work out okay, and we're really just kind of trying to keep track of how many days we have left. This will actually save us about 60 to 70 days of feed, and at a cost of right around $10,000, $12,000, something like that. So very, very good thing to do, obviously, and definitely helping us out. We've got a bunch of cows here with us that obviously figured out what the heck we're doing. They are following right along with us. They know something's up. They know they're getting fed, so that's probably one of the good things that the cows know, is that when this thing comes out, it means food, and we're going to get them up in this pasture and take them with us and drop it off. We get to open this gate for the last time in a while, and hopefully 38 days. Leave it wide open for the cows to come on through, and for us to go through. So obviously, as soon as we pull in, the cows figure out that there's grass in here, but we are still going to put out this bale just to keep them up. We're going to end up having to probably feed more to move them through the pasture, but for this very first time, I'm just going to go ahead and put this bale out, and hopefully they will be able to figure out what's going on. And if they go and drink and then come back, that's great. You know, like I said, without the supplemental bale, we only get about 19 days in here. So it is what it is. there we go. We've got our bale out, holding some of these cows here. Most of them obviously are going straight for the grass, which is totally fine. So that's it. Another 38 days worth of feeding, 19 if we didn't supplement, but it'll get us through. Winter feeding, I'm gonna call it a success. I'm gonna also say it's something that we may not have tried in the past, and it's something that is gonna save the ranch a lot of money and hopefully be able to extend the ranch into the future, which is always obviously our goal. So thanks for hanging out with us once again. We'll be back this weekend. Be sure to catch us as we take a look at the survey that we sent out. If you're a member of the newsletter, if you're a member of Patreon, anything like that, we actually sent out a newsletter this last week that had a survey in it for subscribers and people to take a look at and kind of give us ideas about what kind of videos they wanted to see and all that kind of good stuff. We're going to be taking a look at that survey this weekend on Beyond the Ranch on our live stream, so be sure to check that out. Also, if you are looking for a good Christmas present, head on over to OurWyomingLife.com. Buy yourself some beef jerky or buy some for somebody else. It'd be really cool if you did. Thank you guys. We'll see you next time right here on Our Wyoming Life.